Alrighty, hey y'all, my name is Ty Massey, and today I'm going to be talking about the North American Wetlands Conservation Act, a little policy brief on that. So, just a quick overview of it. So, on December 13th, 1989, the North American Wetlands Conservation Act was enacted and established into federal law. Now, this act it's administered by USFWS, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and it was enacted as a response. There was a lot of loss of critical wetland habitats that migratory birds and other wildlife used, like runways across the United States and just really important wetlands. And so the North American Waterfowl Management Plan, which was established in 1986, kind of served as the foundation for NACA. And the North American Wetlands Conservation Act built off of that. And the North American Wetland or Waterfowl Management Plan, and it focused on collaboration across international borders on protecting waterfowl and wetland habitats. So here's some methods of it. The methods for the funding for NACA, it's provided through congressional appropriations. So each year, there's congressional appropriations. There are provisions for it in the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, and there's federal aid in Sport Fish Restoration Act, as well as there's federal aid in Wildlife Restoration Act. Now, the funds are doubled as each grant that is approved must be matched to at least one-to-one fund. So it is, a dollar to a dollar. So they're matched. And so wetland restoration, enhancement, and protection projects are funded through NACA, and they're accomplished through competitive grant programs. So it's pretty hard to get your grant pushed through. But they have these grants for people to have projects, and they're funded through those things I set up above. And these grants fund habitat conservation projects that are involved with development, urbanization, and climate challenges. And the North American Wetlands Conservation Council, they meet three times a year, and they review and select certain grants proposals that have come up throughout the years, and then they're then sent to the Migratory Conservation Commission, where they're further reviewed. All right, so the goals pretty much of NACA as a whole is to just protect, restore, and enhance wetland habitats in North America through federal, state, and local government partnerships. So it's pretty simple there. Now the results, NACA has been pretty successful. Since 1989, over 3,000 projects have been completed through NACA, and they have helped conserve about 32 million acres of wetlands in North America. And then over $4.3 billion have been raised through matching for NACA projects. So as I said, each grant has to have a one-to-one, like matching. And so over 4.3 billion has been raised through that matching. And then most recently, the Migratory Bird Conservation Commission approved a $102.9 million for NACA, which is going to aim to restore over 500,000 acres of wetlands and upland habitat. So it's really seen a boost recently. And, since 1989, a bunch of projects that have helped wetlands have gone through because of it. Alrighty, so just kind of discussing and talking about the future of NACA. NACA was actually at risk of being discontinued in October of 2012 after its expiration. But the program was receiving about $35 million per year. And so through reauthorization and recent approval of a large $109 million sum, NACA continues to support grants. So it's, is at a risk of being discontinued. But now it is, like I said, seeing that boost of $109 million. Now, the projects funded through NACA, they're going to become increasingly important as, climate change continues to impact and threaten wetland habitats across North America. Organizations and governments, they're looking to mitigate threats such as saltwater intrusion, rising oxygen levels in water, and, so many more things that come from climate change. And so they'll need to utilize NACA for success for sure. And climate change is, it's really threatening. And I think that as it continues to harm wetlands across America, NACA is going to be very important in the future. And so here's some features of NACA. One of them is the small grants program. And so one of the most important features of NACA is it's a competitive grant program that allows these public-private partnerships to further their projects whose goals align with the goals of NACA. And so they're not allowed to exceed $250,000, but these small grants further the long-term enhancement, protection, and restoration of wetlands. And so many grants that the commission pushes through are these small grants, and they work with local, state, private, public partnerships to just fund these restoration projects. Now in South Carolina, there's a lot of projects, and one of them, so NACA has partnered with local and state governments and is actively engaged in like 102 projects in South Carolina. Many of these projects are organized through Ducks Unlimited as well as the Open Space Institute. But projects in South Carolina are focused mostly on the coastal wetlands that hold vital migratory bird habitats. Like down in Georgetown along the coast, there are a lot of rice impoundments that serve as pretty vital places for waterfowl to stay and as they migrate. And then projects include the Waccamaw Neck Conservation, which on this map you can see it's the north inlet to Winyah Bay and is provides $6 million of matched funds to restoring the Waccamaw Neck. Alrighty, now NACA also extends to Mexico and Canada, and specifically for Mexico. NACA's partnerships extends to Mexico, where their goal is to promote partnerships between public agencies and groups concerned with restoration, migratory bird populations, shorebirds, etc. So pretty much aligned with the United States goal. In 2023, nine grant projects were funded in Mexico, and this contributed to the $83 million total that the NACA grant accomplished in 2023. So yeah, and that is my project, a little just snapshot of NACA and the policy brief. So thanks for listening.